Hi, VencoreWeather.com meteorologist Paul Dorian here on Wednesday, November 2nd. Another warm day here in the Mid-Atlantic region. Philadelphia, New York City should climb to the 70-degree mark this afternoon. 75 in and around the Washington, D.C. metro region. Again, another warm day, but a strong cold front approaches and should cause some shower activity in the I-95 corridor from D.C. to Philadelphia to New York City by tomorrow afternoon. Maybe even a thunderstorm mixed in tomorrow afternoon into the early evening hours as well. Once that front passes through by Friday, it'll turn windy and much cooler to close out the work week. Well, again, a warm day here in the Mid-Atlantic region in the middle part of this week, but there certainly are changes in the offing. It appears that by the middle of this month, by the middle of November, a much colder pattern will set up here in the eastern U.S., and it's likely that that colder pattern sticks around for a while, perhaps leading us right into what I predicted as a colder than normal winter here in the Mid-Atlantic region. There's been a lot of buildup of very cold air, much colder than normal, across the North Pole in Eurasia. Places like Siberia, China have had some very cold conditions. A good snowpack has developed over the past few weeks, and oftentimes when there is a widespread, extensive cold air mass on one side of the pole, eventually it works itself over to the other side of the pole. Indeed, it looks like some seeds are in the ground right now, and the prospects for the cold air moving into the eastern U.S. by the middle of the month seem to be increasing. Let's take a look at the latest 500 millibar height anomalies for 5-day periods. This is from last night's Canadian model run. All these maps available on Tropical Tidbits. This is the current situation right now. We have oranges showing up here throughout much of the U.S., insinuating higher pressure than normal, higher heights than normal, which in turn generally translates to higher temperatures than normal. Indeed, very warm here in the eastern U.S. at the midweek point for this particular week. Notice that, however, a strong trough here indicated by the blues out here south of Alaska and just off the west coast of Canada. This is an important player, and all of this will evolve eventually, it looks like, by the middle of November, so that a trough sets up in the eastern U.S., and with that trough of low pressure, colder than normal temperatures should also move into the eastern U.S. by the middle of November. Well, let's jump ahead now. This is the days 6 to 10. Again, we're looking at 500 millibar height anomalies averaged out over a 5-day period. Notice again in the 6 to 10 day outlook, very strong trough here south of Alaska. This is an important player. Oftentimes when there is a trough out in this part of the world, this part of the northern Pacific, a trough starts to set up here in the eastern U.S. with a ridge in between. Indeed, the Canadian model from last night is now, at this time, days 6 to 10, starting to formulate a nice trough here off the east coast. And sure enough, that'll tend to retrograde beyond this point. In fact, let's now jump ahead to the middle part of November. And here we go. This is for the middle 5 days of the month of November, about the 13th to the 18th. Again, using last night's ensemble run of the Canadian model, the 0Z run. By this time, low pressure here, troughing starting to form in the eastern U.S., and this will become more and more pronounced as time goes on. This is pretty far out for the model right now, so it tends to smooth things out with time based on climatology, for example. As we get closer and closer to the middle of the month, this trough will become more and more impressive. But again, big changes are coming. Very warm again here today in the Mid-Atlantic region, but we posted about this on the weather website. Big changes are coming by the middle part of November with a flip in the temperature pattern to colder than normal. And once that arrives in the middle part of November, it could stick around for a while. In fact, the time period between Thanksgiving and Christmas could indeed be quite interesting, with some cold air outbreaks and perhaps even some accumulating snow in the eastern part of the U.S. Well, let's now look at the short term. Again, we have a warm day today, a cold front tomorrow, and windy and much cooler conditions expected on Friday. This is the forecast map from last night's 0Z GFS model run for this evening. High pressure in the southeastern part of the country, pumping some very warm air not only into the Mid-Atlantic region, but into the Ohio Valley as well. Meanwhile, a frontal system by this time, by early tonight, will be crossing into the Great Lakes region. Game 7 of the World Series in Cleveland tonight, ahead of the frontal system, should be quite warm. They should reach 70 degrees later this afternoon. Showers will be approaching, most likely holding off till after the game, but it'll be a close call. Maybe around 11, midnight, 1 a.m. time frame, showers could arrive from this frontal system in Cleveland. So depending on how long Game 7 goes, it could end up being rain-free, but if it goes real long, extra innings, for example, certainly some showers could be possible around the midnight hour. Again, Game 7 tonight in Cleveland between the Cubs and the Indians. Meanwhile, notice lots of high pressure setting up already behind that frontal system. That bodes well for us for the upcoming weekend. And here's the forecast map for tomorrow morning, Thursday morning. Again, all these maps available on tropicaltidbits.com. Low pressure sliding by to our north. Cold frontal system trailing into the Ohio Valley. Probably rain-free here in the D.C., Philly, New York City corridor Thursday morning. Best chance for showers come in the afternoon and early evening. Could even be a couple of downpours, brief downpours associated with this frontal passage, and certainly can be a thunderstorm or two mixed in as well. Again, cool high pressure setting up already behind this frontal system. Let's now jump ahead to tomorrow evening. Well, still a chance for showers and thunderstorms early tomorrow night by after midnight. Be some clearing skies, the winds will pick up, the temperatures will drop, probably bottoming out in the 40s in the I-95 corridor by Friday morning. And then this high pressure area controls the weather on Friday. Strong winds on Friday out of the north to northwest. Let's jump ahead to the Friday morning forecast map. And here we go, Friday, a windy day in the I-95 corridor, much cooler than it will be today or tomorrow. High temperatures confined to the 50s for the most part. Winds out of the north or northwest, probably gusting up to 25 or 30 miles per hour or so. This strong and expansive high pressure system by Friday over the middle part of the country moves into the eastern U.S. and really controls our weather with pleasantly cool conditions this weekend, but rain-free with plenty of sunshine on both Saturday and Sunday. So very warm today. The cold frontal system brings showers, maybe a thunderstorm tomorrow afternoon and evening. Windy and much cooler on Friday, and a decent but cool weekend setting up for the Mid-Atlantic region. Longer term, big temperature flip coming from the overall warmer than normal pattern that we've had in September, October into November to a colder than normal pattern by the middle part of November. That's it for now. For VencoreWeather.com, I'm meteorologist Paul Dorian.